Everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. I have a huge news to share with you guys out of Epstein world. You may have heard already, but Jeffrey Epstein's former business partner and alleged co-conspirator was found dead in his jail cell. Yeah, we've got another suicide on our hands, guys. It seems to be very contagious. This is Luc Brunel, who I'm talking about. And you guys may or may not know, he was arrested in 2020 and he's been in prison since his arrest. So he was facing multiple charges. It included rape of minors, sex trafficking, and actually Prince Andrew's accuser, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, was very instrumental in bringing him to justice and getting him arrested. So Giuffre had also accused Brunell of violating her as a minor. And in addition, Giuffre alleged that at one point, Brunell brought children. I've heard a couple different stories, but I believe these girls were 11 or 12 years old. He brought them to Epstein as a birthday present. That's how sick these people are. And she said that, once Epstein had bragged to her about having sex with more than, quote, 1,000 of Brunell's girls. Yeah. I mean, just sick stuff. So Giuffre, though, she wasn't the only one who spoke out about this man. A woman named Martiza Vasquez, kind of spoke out. She made excuses for him. She made him out like he was some nice guy, but she was Brunell's bookkeeper. And in 2019, she told the Miami Herald that this so-called modeling agency that he co-founded with Epstein, she said it wasn't a profitable business. It wasn't a legit business. She said that Brunell just used it to recruit women and girls that they could take to Epstein's mansions for these parties where they would be assaulted. So anyway, they're now saying, oh, well, Brunell tried to off himself several times since his arrest. Really? That's funny because I have been following Jean-Luc Brunel's case from day one when he was arrested. This is the first I'm hearing about multiple suicide attempts. No, sorry, I do not believe that for 1 second that both of these sociopaths, both of these narcissistic sociopaths killed themselves. Don't believe it. And according to the news, Brunell wasn't under suicide watch, which I guess in France is called emergency protection. The Miami Herald said that in France, they place inmates, like suicidal inmates, in cells with rounded corners, and they give them paper clothes and terrible bed sheets. However, they say that these measures are only used for inmates under imminent risk. So it's basically only to be used for up to 24 hours until they can be transferred to a psychiatric hospital. Well, Brunell was not in a psychiatric hospital, and he wasn't in this emergency protection cell. Instead, they had him in what they call vulnerable people area, which is for inmates who are either at risk of people harming them, of violence to them, and these are typically like sexual predators, or they're famous in some way. They're well-known inmates. Now, here's the deal. I don't buy the suicide narrative, but I do want to debunk one of the false narratives that I've heard going around. People are saying that, oh, the cameras failed, just like with Epstein. Well, that's actually not true. There are no cameras in the cells in France. They don't believe in doing that because it's violating their rights or something. They did have a camera in the hallway, though, and it did not malfunction. They just said there was nobody captured on the camera. So there was nobody who went into the cell. Therefore, it must be a suicide. Well, there's ways of getting around cameras. We all know that. And there's ways of editing videotape and video recording. So, and here's the deal. Brunel had been cooperating with the authorities in France, and he had just recently, as I understand it, started talking with US authorities. Why would someone who's cooperating in a case just go and off themselves? It makes absolutely no sense. In fact, his attorney said, oh, he killed himself not out of guilt, but because, there's no justice. He felt like justice was, not serving him. It wasn't being done. Really? You're cooperating in a case and then you just go, oh, this isn't fair. I'm going to kill myself. Seriously, no freaking way. I don't buy it. You would do it before you start telling investigators what you know, not while you're in the middle of it. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. In addition, a judge is considering right now whether or not to unseal the true names of some of the John Does that were found in court documents. And I just happened to come upon this. The Attorney General's office for the Virgin Islands had literally just issued a subpoena for Brunell and for documents that they thought he had the day of his death. Coincidence that all of a sudden he's dead, found dead in a cell, just like Epstein. So now Ghislaine Maxwell's siblings are all worried. They're saying, oh, she might be next in line to be suicided.
I don't care.
These are some of the most heinous, vile, disgusting excuses for human beings on the earth. I don't feel a bit guilty in saying, I'm glad that Epstein and Brunell are dead. It's a much better world without them. What I'm sorry about is the fact that so many of their victims will never get to face them in court. They're never going to receive true justice, by just even watching them rot for the rest of their lives behind bars. It's sad. That one of Brunell's alleged victims, a woman named Zoe Brock, she said that she's glad he's gone as well. And Brock claims that her modeling agency sent her to Brunell when she was 17 years old, and that she and other models were staying at his French apartment. And she said they were constantly fighting off his advances. They were expected to attend parties and party with him and his wealthy friends. Then one morning, she said that somehow she wakes up in his bed and doesn't know how she got there. So she's positive that he spiked her drink and then raped her. And then 5 years later, she said she was able to finally get away from him. And then she's accosted by Harvey Weinstein, apparently at a hotel when they were out in France for the Cannes Film Festival. And she said then the following year, she claims that she was one of 25 models who were paid to attend an event at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago Golf Club. And she's described this event as a, quote, disgusting party for older men. The filth, and birds of a feather. All these guys, friends, knew each other, hung out, talked about each other. Oh, great guy. Isn't that what Trump said about Epstein? He's a great guy. He likes him younger like I do. Yeah, like I said, I don't care that they're gone. I don't care what happens to Ghislaine Maxwell either. Now that she's been convicted, I don't care. Her victims got justice. So, but we will see what happens with that too, because she is asking for a new trial because of what happened with one of the jurors, which I shared with you guys a few weeks back. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys posted, but thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care. I'll talk with you soon.